Welcome back to ESA Winter 21. We are raising money for Alzheimer Fonden. Links to donate can be found below the stream. We would also like to thank our sponsors Koei Tecmo Europe with their newly released game Neo 2 The Complete Edition, Twitch and ViewSonic. Now it's time for RebelDragon95 running Yakuza 3. Take it away, man.
Oh, yeah, thank you. My name is RebelDragon95. This is Yakuza 3. I'm playing on the remastered PS4 version. I'm playing it on the PS5. It technically doesn't really save time, but I had more data space on my PS5. So, yes. Anyway, time will start when I click the easy here. So, ready on time then, text. So, we'll go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Right. That tells me I've got data of Yakuza 6 on it already. Hell yes. Right. So, like any good Yakuza game, this game starts with a bunch of cutscenes, but, you know, we're just going to skip them all. Which basically sets up a lot of the beginning of the plot of this game. When they decide to load. So, the first place I'm actually going to end up is a graveyard. Usually, this happens in Yakuza 2 as well, but basically, at the end of most Yakuza games, a lot of people usually do end up sadly losing their lives. So they have in some of them like a memorial part. This is one of them. So what you're meant to do here is meant to go talk to all the gravestones and pay respects to all of them. Press F and all that. But I'm just going to talk to that one and then go there. Oh yeah, by the way, this is Sayama. She's very important in Yakuza 2. This is where they write her out of the series completely. She just never comes back, which is big sad. So, let's get that. And now I'm in Kamurocho. So this part actually takes place very, very close to the end of Yakuza 2. Very, very close after it. And so this takes place, I think it's in 2007. The rest of the game takes place in like 2009. So first thing I'm going to do is go say goodbye to my boy Yuya here. Yuya here at Stardust. So I'm just waiting for text to go by. So one good thing about skipping text in this game is you can just hold R1 and X to do it, and it does it all automatically. There's a few instances where you can't do that, and you have to, like, mash. But, yeah, there's only a few of them, and they're only for very, very specific voiced cutscenes. There's a few of them. There's usually there when you're on your phone. But, yeah. Here we've got some guys that I like to call common thugs. Or this one's called a cocky punk. But basically, we're going to get into our first tutorial here. So this tutorial is basically going to teach us about basic combat stuff. So Kiryu starts a fight in this street. A bunch of people gather to watch us, obviously. So this is just a few tutorial things. This is about basic combos. Just hit this guy into the wall. If you get two guys there, you can actually get double hits, which are really, really nice. Now I need to do some heavy attacks, which I just do the one hit into Hummel. And I get up again. There we go. Oh, thanks, man. And then kick that guy. Now I have to do a grab combo, which means do that. Grab that guy. Pick him. And now after this one, it'll ask me to pick up a trash can and go ham with it. So that's what I'm going to do. If you can get double hits here, this is also good. But you need to use 2 of these normally. So after this, it will ask us to build up heat, which is very easy. Basically, when you knock enemies into walls, heat builds up faster. That did not go well. Thank you. Where are you? Good. Cool. I've done that. Now what's going to happen is these guys are going to tell me to do some heat moves. So I'm going to do these heat moves on these guys. I try to do one on each of them so they all have equal health. Go grab that guy. Come here. And now what I'm going to do is, they're all at 1 health, so I just one punch them all. And that's the end of the first tutorial. Cool. Right, so right after that, we actually came down this street because we're visiting a doctor's surgery. So in Yakuza 2, there's a part in the game where the 2 guys that run Stardust, Yuya and Kazuki, is that his name? Names escape me sometimes in this series, there's so many names. But basically, him and his buddy basically get hurt in some Yakuza business, and you come here to give him to this guy, Imoto, to to get him all patched up. And now this is just us saying goodbye to him. It was Kazuki. So we just come and say bye because Kiryu and Haruka here are actually leaving to go run their orphanage. So what I'm going to do here is you can actually choose to spend more time with Haruka and Kamurocho now. And she has some stuff that you can do, but we're just going to say, sorry, Haruka, we need to go fast. We just need to leave. Right, so now we've got exciting stuff. I have to go and do another tutorial. So basically the guys that attacked us before in the first tutorial come back again with their lovely friends, and we get kind of the worst part of the tutorials, which is the blocking tutorial. In every Yakuza game where they ask you to block stuff, my god, is it terrible. Because blocking just, in some of these games, enemies just don't attack you half the time in this, so, you know, it's really hard. Gonna do that, gonna do that. Those guys come around me. Cool, that is that done. So now it wants me to lock on, which is hold R1, do a fighting stance, and then basically in this you can like lock on enemies and kind of strafe. And once you hold this for 10 seconds, the game goes hell yeah, then you can go by. Now, one of the most broken moves in Yakuza 3, your quick step in Yakuza 3 is very, very good. It goes so far. I'm going to do this again. Now it's going to ask me to do some more punching. Punch that guy. 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 Just keep going until you do 10 of these. There you go. And now I can pick up a bike and actually finish the fight. What I'm going to do is do that. Walk up that guy, use a heater move. There we go. Then I'm going to pick up another bike and just hit these guys more. So, nice. That guy should get up again, which would be nice, and I can heat move him. Come on, buddy, get up. Come on, man. Thank you. There we go. And that's the end of that tutorial. Alright. So that heat move, you can actually press X, so used to KH. Press square to do more stuff. Sorry, I also run KH, so sometimes I get the buttons confused. So yeah, so I'm just gonna wait for this guy. These guys realize who Kiryu is and go, oh my god, we shouldn't have punched him. And then Kiryu's like, I don't really care, I'm leaving anyway. So the whole point of this is Kiryu's actually gonna go see Majima, which is on top of this. Yeah. This dude here, with the hard hat on, is one of Majima's like underlings in the his family. He gives us 2 Standman X's, which are kind of nice. We actually do use them later, or one of them, potentially both of them if we need them, but we do actually use them, so you know, it's rather nice if we get 2 free ones, we don't have to buy any. So, now, we're going straight to the top of Millennium Tower. Yakuza 3 does these things early. We've already got a fight on the top of the Millennium Tower. The only time we come here to the top in the entire game, and we just got a lovely fight with Majima here. So this fight's kind of annoying. So they basically give you like a fully functioning Majima to deal with as like your first major boss at the end of the first chapter. So I'm gonna do that, grab him, and when he breaks away from you, he'll laugh, which gives you a free combo. I want to do that. He'll break away from me again. Oh, nice. Right, I want to step away a second here. You can do that. Nice. So what I'm doing here is, whenever bosses are down, they don't tend to block when they're coming up from. Good. They don't tend to block when they're coming up from getting on the ground. So you can basically bait them into getting hit by gut punches, and you can basically infinite bosses by doing that over and over. This is a field of heat. We tend to try and avoid them, but on the first fight with Majima, it's actually really hard to avoid this field of heat because he's just real annoying to deal with, because he has basically all of his counters and everything. Please laugh at me. Okay, good. You did that. Oh no. Oh, good end to that fight. That was a pretty good fight. Right, cool. That's the end of chapter 1. Alright. So, now we get into chapter 2. So, what I've got to do at the start here is, now at the orphanage, this is a couple of years later. I need to go sort out some stuff with one of the children at the orphanage. So, Mod, if you got anything that you want to pitch in with here, feel free.
Wonderful, thank you very much. I do want to remind everyone that we have a bid war coming up for the next game, Saw the Game, where you can choose the ending that that the run will have. You can either find the truth or accept freedom. Finding the truth is currently in the lead with $65 compared to freedom with $0. If you want to change that outcome, then now is your time to donate. So keep the money coming. Because we are collecting that money for Alzheimerfonden, which is the Swedish national fundraising organization focusing on Alzheimer's disease and other dementia-related diseases. The World Health Organization, WHO, classifies dementia as one of the world's greatest health problems. Just over 47 million people are affected. It is estimated that the number of dementia diseases in the world will have tripled by 2050. So we do not want that to happen. We do need that research money. So please keep your donations coming. Thank you very much.
All right, cool. So basically, after talking to Azumi there, Kiryu basically gets like kind of like a letter. I can't remember if it's a letter or something, but he basically gets something that tells him that the Ryodo family want the land that he's on, or like have a deed to the land that he's on. So basically, he's going to go over there and be like, "Hang on a second, what's happening over here then?" So I have to go up here to see one of the most important characters in this game, actually, Rikiya. And Rikiya happens to be our second boss fight. Right. Cool. So something cool in this game is when they remastered these games, they improved the loading times. But by improving the loading times, more NPCs spawn in. So panning the camera down actually just despawns NPCs. It does have a few other uses that I'll get into a little bit more later. But whenever you see me panning down, it's because I'm trying to despawn NPCs to give myself a clear path to walk. That's what I'm doing. Right, cool. So Rikiya here. He's going to his corner with these two signs. I'm going to throw him into it. And this is where gut punching comes in. So I'm going to do gut punch. Run around him. Do that. Punch him. And I'm going to try to do a full combo. Nice. Nice. This is not going well because he's meant to get hit by the signs. So this is going to be a little bit slow, but whatever. But whatever. So basically, I have to do this really slowly now. So basically, by whiffing attacks, then doing the strong hits of your combo, you can basically bait enemies into getting hit by strong attacks, like I did there. So what I did there was I basically used a gut punch to stun him, and then I hit him between walls. And basically, what I wanted to try and do there is I wanted to hit him into the signs, but one of the signs got flung away because, you know, physics. So what I'm doing here is now I need to go see the boss of the Ryodo family, which is Nakahara. So what I'm doing here is I'm actually panning the camera down to basically free up the area for me walking, and also holding R1 and X with a couple of other fingers to basically make sure I'm always skipping text at the right thing. Places of note. This stretch of supermarket / convenience store, whatever, shopping center stuff is the worst thing in the entire game, because basically most fight spawns in there that appear right at the somewhere in the middle of it are kind of unavoidable. So we only come here once in chapter 4, which is where fight spawns really are a problem. So, you know, hopefully it's not bad. So Rikiya is supposed to show us here, but we can get it before him. And this is where the game introduces us to Nakahara, and Nakahara talks about his daughter Saki, but also about the land as well. Cool, that's the end of chapter 2. Right, so chapter 3. So, chapter 3 starts with us having to go deal with some more problems with the kids at the orphanage. So we have to go talk to Shiro. Shiro's having trouble at school, so we've got to go sort it out. So this is where Haruka goes, yo, Shiro needs help. Basically, Shiro's got a problem, but he won't tell us. So basically, this bit is Kiryu working out what's actually happening with Shiro. And then we get into a bit more gameplay afterwards. Right, so he asks Shiro some very good questions here. He says, does your stomach hurt? Which is good. Then he asks about in school, and then, you know, the one question you ask any young children is, do you have a problem with, is this a problem with a girl? Right, so what I got to do is I got to go talk to Taichi. Taichi's on the beach playing with well, it's just Mitsuru. It's just Mitsuru. Koji's at a different point. So yeah, he is talking to Mitsuo, play wrestling. Taichi's like the kid that knows everything in the orphanage. If Kiryu ever has a problem, he just goes to Taichi. So basically, he finds out that Shiro's getting bullied. Now he's phoning the teacher to go, hang on, a child that's in my care is getting bullied. What are we going to do about it? And the teacher just goes, how about I don't do this, but and doesn't do anything about it, because the bully is actually the teacher's son. Right, so I got to go back and forth a couple of times here. I got to talk to Shiro here once more, then I have to go back to talk to Taichi. It's when Kiryu says that he can trust him, whatever. Right, after this, talking to Taichi here, we find out that we need to go looking for a like a higher head in the school, because obviously the teacher's not going to help us. All right. So after this, it goes to the next day, and when Kiryu goes looking, and then we get into one of the more sour parts of Yakuza 3. So in most Yakuza runs, sadly you skip most mini games. Yakuza 3 is one of the only ones where you have to play 2 required mini games and you can't skip them. So sadly, Yakuza 0 has to skip karaoke, and Yakuza 5 has to skip Taiko Drum Master, and some other games have to skip some other mini games. But you know, this one, we're just gonna go play some golf, and it's very much like a Tiger Woods PGA game now. So we're going to play what I like to call Wii Sports Golf. So this is the guy that Kiryu needs to actually talk to. And this guy goes, please play around the golf with me, and then I'll help you out, basically is what he says. So this is going to explain golf. The main things I'm looking for in golf is I usually just use the driver for most of it, and then I just try and putt. I basically try to get on the fairway as fast as possible, like, you know, you would. The only thing that's kind of random is the wind is different every time, so you kind of have to react to that. And you just kind of have to judge that your shots are correct. Right, cool. So. Oh, I was going the wrong way. Oh, I got one behind me, which means I can do that and do that. Go on in the rough, that's fine. Right, now I'm here, I can just do that. Do that. Nice, I'm on the green. Hit that real hard. There we go. That was a decent spot. All right, so this guy normally gets like a birdie on this first hole because he gets a because it's a par 4. There's his oh no, he got a par this time actually because he landed in the rough. He normally gets a birdie. So this one's a par 3. Luckily, we've only got to play 3 holes, so it's only this and one more hole. All right, so now I've got to go 1, 2. Oh, that might have been way too hard. I'm going to have to take a mulligan on that one. You can do that again. That's a much better shot. That was a much better shot. Oh, it's me again. Oh, I didn't go in. Rip me. Got to get a bogey here. Here's this man and his birdie. Oh, I got a par. Right. So this is the last hole. This one's also a par 4. So. Oh, wind's in a weird direction. Okay, I'll go over here. And that was a decently good shot. Right. So what I'm doing is I'm actually skipping through that guy's animations by clicking X. Oh, that was a really weird shot. That went so wide. That was not where I wanted to go. Now what I need to do is just actually whack this one. Wow, it hit the hole. This is like the story of my life with golf in this game. Hits the hole. Oh, now I got a bogey. I got a par. Nice. And that is the end of golf. Right. Don't worry, that's not it for the mini games. We get to play some baseball a little bit later as well. So we're nearly at the point where we can actually start getting back into more combat stuff. So the guy that we were just with at the golf course has come back to the orphanage to pay us a visit. What while all the kids come back from school. So, what if you've got anything you would like to input here? Feel free to take the lead for a few minutes.
Well, we do have a $25 donation from Sati Bunsen saying this is a reminder that the Yakuza games are a serious organized crime drama. Fun fact, Rikiya is voiced by Tatsuya Fujiwara, who played the main character in the movie Battle Royale. Okay, that's a fact I didn't know, so thank you very much for that. Also, with those $25, Sati Bunsen is now eligible for one of our two wonderful prizes. We do have two monitors being sponsored by ViewSonic, both of which can be viewed at prizes.esamarathon.com or by putting !prizes into the chat and following the link. Those are really good monitors, one of which can be yours with a minimum donation of $25, the other with a minimum donation of $35. So go check them out.
All right. Hope you guys enjoyed the walking animations here. So this is like the second little side quest related to the orphanage in chapter 3. By the way, her talkie kit box is outside the room. So basically what's happening here is Ayako's had some of her money stolen and Kiryu needs to go around to collect all the kids to basically have a family meeting. So I got to make sure I remember all the kids are. Taichi's the one which I normally forget because Taichi's kind of off on the side, but because I mentioned it, I will remember him this time. Taichi's over here a little bit. There he is. He's over here in the corner sulking because Ayako wouldn't give him any money because she literally has none because it got stolen. Right, so the last 3 kids are on the beach. Also, shout-outs to, I think it's confirmed in Yakuza 4 that the orphanage just owns this beach. So, it's private property that belongs to the orphanage. Right. So now I've got all the kids. So basically what's going to happen now is Kiryu's going to give them a family meeting and basically be like, so one of you stolen Ayako's money and you need to give it back. Once I've grabbed Haruka, because Haruka needs to be there as well. She's like, damn it, Kiryu, where have you been? I'm supposed to be making food.
Rebel, quick question.
Yes.
Do you have the game's background music disabled?
No, there's not much music.
There is not much music. Okay, because
Yes.
Tech was wondering. Thanks.
No, there isn't a lot of music when you're on the beach. This game is rather quiet. Alright, cool. So now that we've had the meeting, you walk over to the main room and Eri hears inside Ayako's bag. Damn, the biggest plot twist. So it turns out Eri's the one that took the money. And Ayako's like, hang on a second, I've got my money back now. Right, so Eri goes to the beach, and I have to go back to the beach and go through some more text of them making up. So basically, what's upset most of the kids right now is that Kiryu kind of implied that one of them is a thief. So basically, these two are going to make up and basically forgive and forget. And Kiryu, and they're worried that the other kids will get mad at them. And Kiryu's like, "Don't worry about it. I'll cover for you. Make sure that they know that it's a mistake on my part and nothing on them. I'll just say that I found your money lying on the ground outside." Right, cool. So I have to run back into the orphanage now. So up through chapter 4, there is a lot of back and forward, and then from chapter 5 to chapter 9, there is a lot of that's when all the meat of the run happens, and then chapter 10 is pretty chill, and then the final the final couple of chapters are a lot happens in the final couple in the final 2 chapters. Right. So, Haruka asks Kiryu again to help her with the cooking. But when I go to the kitchen, oh no, Rikiya's apparently shown up. Taichi comes in again, being the boy that knows everything. And Kiryu's like, wait, Haruka, I can't help you cook. I've got to go do this again. So he's going to walk outside again. For this to activate, you need to go to the beach because you're looking for Rikiya, because you heard from Taichi that he's around. So you have to go to the beach, and he goes, "There's no one here." And then you run back to the orphanage, and then he appears behind you. No idea why I can't just play the cutscene now, like without you having to go to the beach. But you know, you got to have the running section. So what Rikiya says is that Nakahara's daughter, rather his adopted daughter, Saki, has gone missing, and Rikiya's basically come to enlist Kiryu's help to find her, because Nakahara is basically in pieces. So we get teleported to the main part of Okinawa, but in the top corner where we fought Rikiya. So we're going to skip some text, go over here, and we get to use our first taxi. So taxis in this game have a very, very pitiful list. In Okinawa, it's fine, because you only need 3 of them. Oh, no fight spawn here. There can be a fight spawn right on this corner. So while I'm going through text here about what I've just explained, I can explain a bit more about fight spawns. So fight spawns in this game, the easiest way I can explain it, which they're basically like Pokemon trainers in Pokemon, where they just spawn on the map and they are static in place. They do sometimes turn around and walk away and walk around, but they're normally static. And basically, if they see you, they run towards you. They are pretty relentless, and in this game, sadly, there's no real way to despawn them unless like you get to a doorway or whatever before they catch you. But other than that, there's no way to despawn them. You just have to outrun them, basically, then hope you don't run into them again on the way back to wherever you're going. So, fight spawns can appear here. There is literally one on that corner, right there. And if you go too close to them, the fight spawn will activate as well. So, you can tell which ones are fight spawns, because what I mentioned earlier about panning the camera down to despawn pedestrians, basically pedestrians' feet will disappear when you pan the camera up, but fight spawns and interactable NPCs won't. So you can basically tell who's around and what's around based on the feet you see. See, there's a fight spawn right there, so I have to go a little bit wide here. So what I'm doing now is I need to go around here to this corner. There's sometimes a fight spawn around here. I've actually had, a couple of runs ago while I was practicing, I actually had 2 fight spawns appear here, basically facing each other. Right, so let's get to punch some people again now. So these guys are from the Tamashiro family. So the Tamashiro family basically have taken Saki because of some stuff that Tamashiro has going on with her mother. So we just got to beat up these guys to find out where they are. And this guy should stand up in a second. Nice, got a double kill there. And this guy should be near dead. There we go. Oh, I say near dead. Knocked out. Kiryu doesn't kill people. So these guys tell you where the Tamashiro office is, and it's just around the corner from here. There can actually be a fight spawn around this corner, which is kind of nasty. He's not there. It can be by that black car. It's very nasty. It can just nab you for no reason. So they go here. They realise Saki's here because there's that sketchbook. Saki is a character. She doesn't really talk, and she likes drawing. So her sketchbook's very, very important to her. I'm going to go here. So trying to enter the building, this is when we get introduced to Kamiyama. So Kamiyama here is the guy who runs all the weapon shops in this game. So basically, he tells Kiryu about the weapon shops he has around and all this other stuff. And he basically opens up this one in Okinawa for free for us. We do actually open the one he has in Kamurocho as well, because we do need it for way later. We actually need it twice. So this guy drags us into here and tells us about the weapon shop, and then gives us the expandable staff. Now the expandable staff is meant to be something that you apply mods to make it better, but we never do that in this run. Basically, the expandable staff to us is a really weak weapon, but its heat move is actually good in 2 instances, so we actually do get to use that. Right, so now we're in a set piece. So set pieces in Yakuza 3 are a little bit different to some of the other Yakuza games. So most Yakuza games you actually have to beat up most of the enemies in every room to proceed, but this game you don't really have to. These guys you have to beat up. Nice, gonna run over here. Punch that before it plays the cutscene to tutorialise that we can beat these up. Oh, I didn't mean to quick set there. That. Right, cool. So, now we're going to dad run through all this. But these guys will have weapons and don't attack us. They're just not aggro at all. We're going to break this down. We've got the item there. So the guy with the sword comes out. We just dodge him with X. All the QTEs here are X, so I know exactly what all the QTEs are. I'm going to run past this guy with the baseball bat. He doesn't even try to hit me. Run past it. Right, so a guy comes out this door and tries to drag me in there. If he drags you in there, I believe there's a fight in there which you have to deal with. But if you do the QTE here, you get to skip this. You basically get to skip getting dragged in there completely. Right. So I hope you guys missed the guy with the sword, because he's about to run at me again by this door. There he is, he's coming back again. Alright, there we go. Oh, dude, that guy actually hit me. Yeah, that guy with the throwing knife usually does hit you. But these guys all have weapons, right? Yeah, you just run past them all. So this room here, you actually have to deal with the fight that's in here. A bunch of these, there are 4 guys that come in here and lock the door on you. So you need to beat these guys up before you can see. Oh, nice. That was actually sick. So what happened there was, I actually hit that guy into the furniture, and the furniture went around and did more damage to him. Get off, please, please. Thank you. So what happened there is, the furniture actually did more damage to him because they were bouncing him around, which means I actually took out the guy with the most HP bars in 1. Right. So, now we get flung into our first boss fight. So this is Tamashiro. Sadly, the first thing I've got to do is I've got to do a menu. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy all my level ups and tech. There's only one of these, there's only a few abilities that we actually need in this game. We only go into this menu 2 or 3 times. So that's it for that one. So I'm going to grab this guy and put him in his corner. So what I did to Rikiya, I'm going to do here, but there's no signs to hit it in, so I basically just have to bounce him between walls. That did not go my way. Oh my god. Okay, he's back in his corner. That was really scary. So, bouncing between walls does more damage. So what I'm trying to avoid here is I'm trying to avoid 2 things. I'm trying to avoid a QTE, and I'm also trying to avoid his second phase as well. He has a heat phase where if you let him stand up for too long after you do enough damage to him, he will do that, which is kind of bad. So now if he gets up again, he'll do a QTE if I let him stand up for too long. And this guy can get kind of scary. I'm going to stun him again, just because I need him down. There's a QTE. It's faster, just get smacked in the gut by this QTE. And then you just stand up and go 1, 2. Oh god. Tamashiro, why would you do this to me, please? Good. I got him. Usually this doesn't happen. Usually he just gets knocked down instantly. This is kind of annoying. Right. Oh. Okay, good. Second phase is kind of whack. Oh, okay, then I got to feel the heat, that's fine. Usually you avoid this, but I kind of got completely destroyed by this guy because I messed up. It's fine, no. So this will do a bunch of damage to him. And then I can just go. And that's him dead. Or beaten. He comes back a bit later. Don't worry. We'll see him again. That was a very, very slow fight because I messed it up. So this is when you save Saki, go back to Nakahara. Nakahara thanks you, then Daigo and his buddy shows up and basically explains what's happening with the deeds. Now we're into chapter 4. Right. So I've got a couple of cutscenes here, so Maud, feel free to say anything that you need to say.
Wonderful, thank you very much. I do want to remind you of the things that Alzheimer does with all that lovely money that you're donating. Alzheimer for example, enables training for caregivers on the subject of dementia. They also organize projects, camps, and events for youngsters affected in different ways due to parents or other relatives diagnosed with Alzheimer's. Yearly, Alzheimer Science Council and Board of Directors grant scientists and projects around 30 million Swedish kroner, which are about $3 million. But that's not enough really, because even with that amount of money, they can only grant about 19% of the funds that are applied for. So they really do need all the money they can get to enhance all the research that is needed. So please, y'all, keep your donations coming.
All right then. So that there was basically Kiryu deciding that he needs to go to Kamurocho to basically see what's happening. He needs to go see Kashiwagi. If you know some of the other Yakuza games, Kashiwagi is a very, very prominent figure in Yakuza 0 and Yakuza 1 and 2, I believe. I believe he's in Yakuza 2 at some point, but he's very prominent in Yakuza 0 and Yakuza 1 as someone that Kiryu knows in the Kazuma family. So Rikiya comes and asks, can I come with you? And Kiryu goes, yeah, sure. When you get up the next morning, there's just a dog on the orphanage, and Izumi here used to have a dog that looked just like that one that was called Mame. She basically asks Kiryu, can we, go catch and adopt this dog? And Kiryu's like, yeah, sure, I guess so. This guy here is actually one of the masters in this game. But we don't need to talk to him. We're just going to go maybe later and just ignore him. Right, cool. So, the dog is actually in a kind of a weird position. So, recently, and by recently I mean 2 days ago, we actually completely rerouted this game. We used to do 2 sub-stories in this section that granted us 200k money, which we needed for reloading a gun and doing a couple of things later on in the run. But yeah, a runner of other Yakuza games called Kuro just came in and was like, why don't you guys just get this weapon and sell it? Because it sells for 290,000. And we were just like, hang on a second here. So yeah, we completely changed the money route of this run the other day, as well as the weapon routing. So we actually get to shoot a few more bosses. Oh, there's a fight spawn there. I should be fine. Cool, we're in the taxi. There can actually be a fight spawn down this street here, which is really hard to avoid. You can be by the taxi. And if you get that, it's real annoying. So, here's the dog. The dog runs away from Kiryu, and Kiryu decides, you know what, let's chase the gun. Right. So, chase sections. There's a few chase sections you have to do throughout this run. This one here is just chase the dog. You can't actually do anything to catch up to the dog. You just have to run after it, and he's on the set path. So, by holding R2, you actually initiate sprint. Usually I turn in this by checking the camera, because that's how I'm used to turning in 3D games, so I just get to hold forward. This one's very much tutorialized. It does actually give us a proper tutorial on how to do chases with people later, with a character called Mac that comes up. Yeah, the dog ends up here. Kiryu catches up to it. He hides by the bike. Izumi and Mikio are here. Basically, Izumi's like, Kiryu, what do dogs like? So, what we're going to say is, we're going to say dogs like bones. So what do we like? Dogs like bones. So when you say bones, you're actually meant to go to both of the M stores and talk to them to like see if they have bones. I need to pick up this locker key real quick. Pick up the locker key, right. So we need to go into the M store to ask if they have bones. So I'm going to go in here. Talk to this guy. He says they don't have any, but you know, not that bad. But just to doubly make sure, I'm gonna go back in there again and ask him again. He says he doesn't have any again. That's too bad. That's too bad. We asked him twice to make sure. Asked him twice to make sure. So then Kiryu goes, hang on a second, I should go. Oh, an NPC got in the way there. Says we should go back to Izumi now. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go back to Izumi and say that they don't have bones there. Then she asks again. We're gonna say definitely bones. So what you're meant to do on the second one is you're meant to go talk to the other M store, but because I talked to that one twice, Kiryu just goes, hang on a second, I've already asked twice. And then we just get to skip the entire second half of it. I believe this was found by another Yakuza runner called Tapioca, who does a lot of stuff with a lot of the Yakuza games. He's quite a good runner out of these games. So these guys tell us they want to take the dog for a walk. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into the Mahjong studio, the Mahjong. And we're just going to leave because we don't play Mahjong around these parts. And what that does is it basically just skips us forward and enough time for them to finish their walk. And then there's a couple of cutscenes here. Where they say, yo, we have now obtained the dog. So I get to go back to the orphanage. So, after we go back to the orphanage, we get to, there is a lovely cutscene, with Rikiya and Kiryu spying on Mitsuo and Riona here, where Mitsuo basically decides he wants to ask Riona out on a date. He asks her to go to the movies, and she turns him down. It's a real sad moment. So this then basically prompts Rikiya and Kiryu to, you know, try and help out the poor kid to make him look cooler. So after he gets rejected here, kid's sweating as well, dude. She says no. So basically, this pushes Kiryu and Rikiya to be like, we should help him. And he basically proposes that we do a fashion competition. So we're going to go and buy some clothes, and this is where basically the main route change happened. So we used to do a sub-story where we would stop a guy from jumping off of a bridge, and then that basically unlocked another sub-story in a chain inside the supermarket that gave us gave us 200,000 money. But picking up that one locker key, which is on the way to where we need to go, gives us an item called the Shadow Blade, and the Shadow Blade sells for 290,000 yen, which basically is not only 90,000 more than what we used to get, it's more than enough for what we need. So, you know, that is real nice. So what we do now is, so one thing nice about the remasters actually is on the minimap, all the question marks are sub-stories. Basically, on the original PS3 versions, the sub-stories weren't on the map until you did them all and you got the sub-story finder for New Game Plus playthroughs. On the remasters, you just have it instantly, so you can see where all the sub-stories are, so we know where they all are to either avoid them or to basically activate them if like, we do need them. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to talk to Rikiya, and Rikiya here gets Mitsuo, and we're going to make Mitsuo look real good here. So I brought a American flag polo tee and a 10-gallon hat, so, you know, Mitsuo about to look proper cool. There he is, there's our boy. And then they're like, go on, give it another shot. So, you know, they're just going to spine him again. And she turns him down again. I just can't see what's wrong. Looks perfect. So Kiryu giving him the correct words of encouragement there. So what's going to happen now is I'm going to try and leave the orphanage. Riona wants to talk to me. There's a couple of cutscenes, and then I have to go back to the main city. So, Maud, if you have anything that you need to say, please feel free to go now.
Wonderful. First of all, I think that shirt was just way too patriotic, but that's just me. So, let me please remind you of our oncoming bid war for Saw the Game, where you can select the ending between finding out the truth or accepting freedom. The truth being in the lead with $65 and freedom being in second place with $0 currently. But if you prefer freedom over the truth, now's your chance to change that. Also, we do have a very nice incentive coming later on this marathon for Donkey Kong Country 2 Diddy's Conquest, where you can have a visual glitch of On Guard, the swordfish, in Clapper's Cavern, where On Guard looks like Dixie. So it looks like Diddy is riding on Dixie during that, well, in that place. And if you do want to see that, it's a total of $500. We are currently $241 in, so we are almost halfway there. Now's your chance to donate for that.
Right. So, I took a taxi there to get to the cutscene a little bit faster. If you walk straight up, the cutscene trigger for that is so big that, you know, it just hits you when you're on the other side of the street. So, yeah, cool. Right. So, now that we've sorted that out, Mitsuo and Riona have made up. Koji comes out and goes, hey, yo, guys, do you want to play some baseball? So, now we get into the other required minigame for this, where we have to play some baseball. As baseball boys and baseball girls move out. So, you know, they're all going to run to the beach, and we're going to follow them because we want to join in on some of the fun. So, Dog's already there. Look, Dog's watching on. Another cutscene here. So this kid here that's out on the beach is a random child called Akira who has just come to visit the beach. And Koji and Taichi, being the good boys that they are, ask Akira if they want to come play with him. So of course he says yes. But, you know, Kiryu being Kiryu, the cousin's going to come back to me, and before he even gets a chance to bat, I'm going to walk up and be like, no, 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 it's my turn to hit the balls. Right. That was really weird. I've never seen that cutscene sit there. Right, so, I actually want to hit these balls pretty badly. So basically, I just want to hit them all into the ground, because the cutscene for hitting them into the ground or bunting them is actually shorter than hitting them well. So I want to do this 10 times in a row. It's a lot harder than it looks to do it as well. So for every one where you get the long cutscene, you lose a couple of seconds. Like a couple to a few seconds. So I'm actually holding my stick down left in kind of a death grip to try and basically make sure I'm at the right angle. Oh, good bunt. That was a good cutscene. So do this 6 more times. Hopefully I don't get any long hits, but if I do get any long hits, you basically get to see the children all over their own feet, like Koji just did then. They trip over the dog in their own feet. It's pretty good. Cool. Right. Got 4 more left of these.
Quick, very important question. Can you pet the dog?
Sadly, I can't pet the dog. I'm very sorry.
Ah, shoot.
I know. It's really upsetting, isn't it? Very upsetting. The dog is still there in, like, the later Yakuza games as well, so don't worry. Doggo doesn't actually go anywhere. Doggo is still there. Alright, 1 more ball left to hit. And that was a pretty good baseball. Very good baseball there. Alright, so after that cutscene, Akira, you basically leave the kids to deal with their own stuff and play their game, because Kiryu basically needs to prepare to leave for Kamurocho. So I'm going to walk up here. Nice walk up here. And then Haruka comes up going, oh no, oh no, oh no. Because Akira passed out because he was very tired. I don't remember the exact issue with him, but he passed out and the mother is very, very angry. So she calls the teacher to basically come and scold Kiryu and the supposed naughty children at the orphanage in front of the teacher. Then Akira basically says, I'm being bullied. She asks him who, and obviously we already know it's the son of the teacher, and the mum just goes crazy on the teacher. Bye-bye. Bye, Akira. Akira's nice and says bye to us. So we say bye to Akira. Right, so now Haruka asks, is it time to go? Of course it's time to leave. I'm trying to speedrun here. Right. Now I have to go to Kamurocho. So, there's actually an additional couple of cutscenes in this game which are on the beach right now, which means I have to stick kind of close to the wall, because the cutscene trigger is a lot bigger than you think it is. But if you get it, it's only a few seconds to skip the cutscene. Right, so now I have to go to the supermarket. Basically, Haruka needs to go buy some supplies for the orphanage. So, here comes one of the scariest rooms in the entire game. Nice, thank you, Car. Oh, I didn't see that guy. I did not see that guy. I was busy watching the car. So this is a fight spawn. They happen. I ran into him because I'm stupid. That was completely my fault. What are you doing? There should only be these 2 guys, actually. Good. That wasn't too much of a time loss, but that was very silly on my part. I wasn't looking. I just ran straight into him. Oh, he gave me some money. Nice, thank you. Move. Right. So. That was just completely silly. Every fight spawn you get is about a 30-second time loss as an approximation. Depends on how many enemies there are there. It can be a little bit more. Right, so Haruka here says, I need to go buy a bunch of stuff for shopping, so we need to go and have a look around, and she'll get everything, then come back to us. What I'm going to do is go around here. Oh, look, she's done already. Haruka here just speedran the shopping, And then she gets it delivered as well, so you don't have to worry about it. Right, coming out of here, there can also be a fight spawn, which can be annoying. There isn't one. The one time there's none inside the lane here. Wow, there's a bus there. Nice hitbox. I get caught by one outside because I'm not paying attention. You know what? That's exactly me. Alright, cool. So now I'm going to tell Haruka to go back to the orphanage and look after the children. And then now we're going to get into one of the reasons why people love the Yakuza game. So this guy here is Mac. Mac here is basically going around the world trying to film the everything interesting happening in the world and basically write blogs about it. And he tells Kiryu about it, and we get to look at this woman on her moped. It tells us about what are called revolutions. So this is the only revolution we do in this run. So this is in my notes, legit as funny granny on bike cutscene. So, you know, she's just driving along. She sees the person that she stands, so, you know, casually looks at it while she's doing a wonderful flip over this taxi while we just do some QTs to basically snap some good pictures of it. Still going. There we go. And by answering this next question correctly about what she did, which is she did a flip and landed it. This one here, she did a flip and nailed the landing. Kiryu writes a blog post and works out how to do a flip over people to kick them in the back. Because, you know, that's exactly what I got from that personally. I got that personally from this. The fact you can do that to people. Personally, that's what I got. Right. So, now that Mac's done that, we're going to have a nice phone call with Taichi, who asks us to go back to the orphanage for a little bit. We don't have to go back there at all. Now we get Mac texting us again. Now let's grab the Focky up here. Right then. There can actually be a fight spawn in this little plaza. Those schoolgirls over to the right there are actually a sub-story, so I want to avoid them. Because another cutscene will play, which wastes a little bit of time. So here's some locker keys. I got a blackjack amulet, which is important for later. There is my double action revolver, which is important. There is my shadow blade, which I sell. And here's my lovely shotgun, the Expulsion 12. The Expulsion 12 is like the strongest shotgun available to us. So, you know, we're gonna abuse it. Gonna buy double finisher. Gonna equip that and equip that. Nice. Right. So we're gonna go down here. Right. So now we're gonna taxi back to the middle of Okinawa. I cannot remember the name of the street off the top of my head. Right, and then we get to leave Okinawa. So we're actually out of basically the really slow part of this run, and then we get into more interesting stuff. Get out of my way, please. And there we go. We're now out of Okinawa. There's some cutscenes of what's been happening in Kamurocho. Basically, some guy's restaurant gets blown up by one of the new Yakuza heads called Hamazaki. And there's Mine on the phone. We'll get into him later. So we know there's a problem at Stardust here. So we're going to go into Stardust and see if we can help out. And here is our boy Hasebi. Right. Hasebi's basically offering money to Yuya and Kazuki here. To basically buy the club, and obviously Yuya and Kazuki are like, how about we don't do that, and then we set up a fist fight. So this guy's from the Nishikiyama family. We deal with the Nishikiyama family a lot. So I just pull out my gun, and I'm going to just shoot this guy. I want to casually remind you guys that Kiryu doesn't kill people. And we shoot this guy because that guy actually has multiple phases, and he has cutscenes and stuff. We just avoided all of them by just pulling out a gun and shooting him. Oh, 2 guys there. Good. Right, there we go. Good fight. And that is the end of Chapter 4. Right, so now we get a bit more backstory about what's been happening in Kamurocho from Kazuki and Yuya. And it's basically about how the city's changed in the past 2 years and how nothing is how Kiryu remembers it. So, Kiryu instead is going to listen to him for a little bit and then he's going to phone Kashiwagi. Kashiwagi was going to phone him because by this point in the story, Daigo's been shot. Because, you know, of course Daigo's in trouble. It wouldn't be a Yakuza game if Daigo wasn't involved or in trouble. This is one of the cutscenes I mentioned earlier that you have to mash X to go through. There was another one in the start of Chapter 4. Alright, just let me move my notes real quick, just so I know what I'm doing, so I don't forget anything. Right. So, now that I've done that, I can go around here. So, at this point in time, I need to go and grab a locker key from a kind of remote location. So, at this point in the story, there's actually police and stuff everywhere. So, this game forces you on a specific path to a boss fight. So, basically, we're going to go down the one path which it gives us, which basically is to give us a place to buy items if we need it. But there's actually a locker key in there, which is very useful to us, which is nice and convenient. So, we're going to go down there and grab a locker key. And then we're going to come back up and fight a boss. So, Mod, if you want to fit in a couple of donations while I'm walking around Kamurocho for a little bit, please feel free to do so.
Thank you very much. I just have one popping up on my screen from some guy named MOD366. I know I've heard that name, but I'm not sure where. $5, saying $5 for Granny doing a front flip on a scooter. That was absolutely hilarious. I was laughing so hard on that.
There is a reason why we love the Yakuza games. They balance the seriousness and comedy and the light-hearted moments so well. The other game I run, Yakuza 6, has a cutscene where they basically play football with a baby and throw it around to try and keep it away from people. It's just, this series is full of so much jank stuff and it's so good. Right, so this is the Men in Black, all the mysterious figures, or Richardson. I'm going to pull out a shotgun and I'm going to shoot him. I have to be very careful here, because I basically have to wait for him to get up, shoot him again. Okay, I'm going to go around that guy so he doesn't get in my way. Shoot him again. Oh, no! Oh, really? Okay, I guess I'm not shooting Richardson then. That was kind of bad. It's fine, so what I can do instead is... Okay. That was just silly. I got actually destroyed there. So the issue with shooting this guy is sometimes his partners will just get in the way. I was trying to avoid him, but I couldn't do much to it, so I got a field of heat here. Luckily, it doesn't matter too much because I can... Okay. That kind of worked out, but you know, that wasn't what I wanted. That wasn't what I wanted. You're meant to shoot him all 4 times, and he gets destroyed by the shotgun. So we run out here, and because we've just seen a bunch of men in black, Kiryu mistakes this man here for another one of the assailants that had just attacked him. So we're going to chase after him. And I mentioned earlier about the tutorialized chase. This is that tutorialized chase. And time we do that, I'm going to press X on him once, then just going to run to the end. Cool. Just run around this. So it's actually faster, slightly faster too. Hit again just to make sure he actually... Oh. That was... Okay, I thought it was a little bit further there. So you can't actually finish that tutorial until that pop-up has come up. So I hit him twice. I hit him 3 times there for no real reason. And then Kiryu realizes, oh my god, it's Mac. I know this man. Why did I hit him? Right, so... Mac runs this way. I'm meant to run the other way, but something I can do now, very, very cheekily, is I can open up the gun shop. So I need the weapon store for Chapter 9. We're on Chapter 5, so we're setting up stuff for 4 chapters in the future. So I need to go over here. Talk to this guy. This guy tells me to go into the adult shop over here, the lovely shop down here, and tells me to ask for a very, very specific thing. I need to ask for the mixed bathing hot spring special. And then that apparently gets you into the gun shop. So I picked up the Shadow Blade earlier, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to this man, and I'm going to click sell, and we're going to... Let me sell my Shadow Blade, please. And look at that, we have 300k on the money. Right. So there's actually one more locker key I have to go pick up here. So I need to go into the bar over here. And what the 2 locker keys I picked up here will get me another shotgun, and it will get me my second blackjack amulet. Now the blackjack amulets aren't used until chapter 9. They're very important there. So that's when I'll get into that. Right, so what I'm going to go do now is I'm going to go and open up the 2 lockers that I need. And then I'm going to do a quick menu to buy Essence of Finishing. Because we haven't actually bought heat boots yet for our regular combos. We just have them on a couple of our weapons. I'll grab my blackjack amulet and the broken shotgun. Cool. And then I'm going to buy my upgrades. And that's the last time we enter the ability menu. We don't need anything else from in there. We have finished with that part of the menu completely. We need double finishers and heat moves. Those are the only 2 abilities that we require to beat the game now at this point. Everything else is just useless to us. So the reason why we come here is because we need to talk to Kashiwagi. So Kashiwagi does a bit more background on what's actually going on. And basically, he has a picture of the guy who shot shot Daigo, and Kiryu also has one of the guy who shot Nakahara because Saki drew it back in Okinawa, and it looks basically exactly like Kiryu's adopted father, Kazuma. So big mystery there. And then sadly, Kashiwagi's office gets attacked by a helicopter with a minigun, and he gets injured quite a lot. So now Kiryu has got a bit of blood on him because of obviously he's just been with a guy who's been bleeding out. And the police now suspect him of doing something in the tower because of the attack with the helicopter. So now we have to run away from the police. Alright. So, this part's kind of annoying sometimes with how the NPCs spawn. It can be really, really hard to just get away from them. So what I'm going to do is, basically if the police catch you, they initiate in a QTE where you have to mash X to basically throw them off of you. So I'm going to try and avoid that at all costs by basically taking routes that avoid the police and trying not to run into NPCs or other objects because Kiryu will clank on them. Oh, they gave me a hole. Hell yes. Right, so this one here always has a nice little gap here for Kiryu to run through. So now we get into a bit of RNG with the NPC spawns around here. That's actually okay. I did clank off of a man with a walking stick a few runs ago and it was pretty funny. Kiryu fully bonked off of him. Right, so what I need to do is I need to try and avoid those guys. Nice, I got through. So I'm also avoiding jumping over the bins as well. There's only one bin which we have to jump over. Jumping is actually slower than running around them. So we try and avoid that at all costs. And now we are going to jump over that one because you can't avoid the police guy if you don't jump over it. Going to go round, round. And there we go. That's the end of the police chase. Right. So now we have to push Date. So Date basically, at this point in the story, is now a reporter. He's now an ex-detective. So he's going to help us out a little bit by, if the police try to approach us, he's going to tell the police to, wait a second guys, he's with me. And because of his status as an ex-detective, he gets us out of trouble. So because his walk speed and run speed is slightly slower than ours, I need to push him. The destination we're heading for is, as you may have guessed, Serena. Because where else do you go in Yakuza games when there's a problem? So while I'm pushing Date and walking towards Serena, Mod, feel free to talk about whatever you need to talk about.
Wonderful, thank you very much. We do have a $25 donation by Not in KY, saying, I'm so impressed by the runners. Thanks for lending your skills to support a good cause. That cause being Alzheimerfonden, the Swedish national fundraising organization focusing on Alzheimer's disease and other dementia-related diseases. The goal of Alzheimer Funding is to be an important research financier in this work. In the absence of effective medicines, it is important to research the best preventive measures for Alzheimer's disease. So thank you very much for that $25.
Cool. So something which you have to make sure you do is whenever there's a police guy nearby, Date will walk. You have to walk at the same time Date walks, because otherwise policemen will just approach you, and they're basically like fight spawns. They'll like run at you, and you basically can't outrun them because you're trying to walk and follow Date. Fun fact, Date actually got caught on that car on the left of me because he got caught on a pedestrian a couple of runs ago, which was really nice of him. Date has this tendency where he wants to stick on his like running path, so if you push him too far to the left or right, he will just stop and walk back to the middle, which can be very annoying. So you want to push him, but you don't want to like nudge him too far out of the way, because otherwise he can get a little bit too far away from his set walking and slash running path, which can be rather annoying. It loses a couple of seconds when it happens. This guy's kind of annoying, then he just gets blasted. So all that to get to Serena, when he could have just told Kiri, we're going to Serena, because Kiri's like, wait a second, we're at Serena. Right, so this is kind of a bit of a plot dump of what's been happening and who the Yakuza guys are. So this is Kanda. Kanda is now the head of the Nishikiyama family, and he's gunning for the head of the Tojo. So this is Mine. Mine is head of the Hakudo family, if I remember correctly. I'm very bad with some of these names. There's so many families that come up. I'll be honest, I can't remember what Hamazaki's one is off the top of my head, but I will quickly see if I can read it. I didn't see it. But basically, Hamazaki is one of the Yakuza heads who's very much in with the Snake Flower triad from China. So he has them on his side to do his bidding. Right, cool. So I have to leave here and go see if I can find some Kanda. Right, leave here, go find some Kanda. Right, so when I leave, it turns out Rikiya followed us to a Kamurocho here. Against our will, because we basically left without him because we didn't want him to get involved and we didn't want him to basically be at risk of getting hurt from any of the happenings that happens at Kamurocho. Because Rikiya is basically only used to Okinawa and he has no idea about anything with Kamurocho. He gets here for 5 minutes and he's already lost. So what I have to do here is you have to basically click on all the bottom options here, because that tells you where that gives you the exact building where you need to go. There's only you will have to go to a specific M store, otherwise you have to walk around the entire city, go into all these places and just looking for him. By the way, that was Taichi asking us to buy him a comic book. There's not a fight spawn here. There is not. Good. Right, cool. It's a little bit wide. I wanted to be a bit closer to the right side of the street there. But let's go. He wants us to come up here. So, there is a fight spawn there. So luckily I went around here. Right. So again, I'm jumping the camera up and down to... Oh, and I did see one there. I'm going to go around here a little bit to avoid him. He is chasing me now because my controller is vibrated. That's how you can tell when they're chasing you. Your controller will vibrate. If you get a fight spawn here and you're not fast enough getting into the doorway here, you can get caught while like in the doorway cutscene, which is kind of annoying. Right. So he comes in here, goes, oh no, Rikiya isn't here. And there's that guy at the back who's looking at us. So what we're getting into now is something that was actually added back. I believe the cutscene that's about to play was cut from the PS3 versions, but added back in on the remasters. Which is basically a phone call with this guy asking if Kiryu was at an event that happened in Kamurocho a number of years ago. And take a quick drink. Yeah. Because he has photographic evidence of Kiryu being there, and it has some it has some dealings with his family that he basically needs to deal with. So Kiryu here is going to phone the editor and ask about the picture, where it was taken, and stuff like that. And then he gives the information to that guy. Yeah, it gives you information to that guy about who took the photo, because that's what he needs to know. And then Kiryu now goes, okay, I can now go find Rikiya. So Rikiya told us when we were in the shop that he's at the park around the corner here. good old the good old children's park up here, dealing with some guys. So these guys are trying to take this woman that Rikiya is protecting, because he saw them doing it in the park. Now I've got to beat up these guys a little bit. So ideally what I want to do is I want to use a heat move on the main dude in black to that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to combo these guys to build up my heat bar. Do that to do a little bit of damage to him. And we're going to grab him, throw him into a tree, beat him up. There you go, that guy is down, and there's only one dude left now, and he only has a few hits left. There we go, that was a really good fight. So we buy Essence of Finishing specifically to deal with that guy with 2 HP bars, because he can be rather annoying. Basically, what these guys were doing is they... Kanda basically orders them to go find women to take to the Love Hotel for him, which we're now going to go to Love Hotel and see if we can find some Kanda and talk to him, because we basically... He's our lead to what's happening with the deeds of Kiryu's land at this point, and why Daigo and Nakahara had to get shot, which is why Kiryu is here. So, I'm gonna walk up here, and then we get straight into another set piece. So we have a set piece coming up here where we have to go and look through a bunch of hotel rooms. Sadly, we're not going to get many of the cutscenes of what you can see, because Kanda is basically in specific rooms throughout the hotel here. So sadly, we don't get all the cutscenes of Kiryu walking in on the people in the hotel rooms and all the fights that he has to deal with. Do that to that guy. Nice, that was a lot of damage. Nice. Please get up. He wanted you to stand up, just... Oh, he was down. Nice. Yep. Alright, cool. Now Rikiya goes, I'll take the lower floors and you take the upper floors, Kiryu. Kiryu's like, okay, I'll do this for you. So Kanda right now is on the 6th floor. So we're going to go up to the 6th floor, run up this lovely hotel, and the door that he's in is actually this door back here. You can actually interact with all of these doors. There are different cutscenes and things throughout, and some of them are really funny. So I would recommend going through all of them and seeing everything that this set piece has to offer, because it is very, very good. I mentioned earlier about the expandable staff having a couple of uses. Yep, it's used for heat moves on these guys. So now we're going to run around with the expandable staff. Got to go down to floor 4. He's at the very end of the corridor here on floor 4. Yeah. Right, now he's going to go up to the 7th floor. I'm going to hit that guy just for a bit of heat, just to make sure I'm fine. Then I'm going to use my item here. Grab that up there, do that. And hit this guy. Alright, cool. So now that we've done that, and I've got up to the 7th floor, which is the final door that we need to open. Then we get into the Kanda boss fight. So 7th floor, he's actually up here in this room here. He's the closest door here. Right. Now we go around here, and we're going to go into this door here. Right, so this is the Kanda boss fight. So I want to push into a corner and basically try and stun lock him for a lot of his first HP bar. Okay, this is not the corner I wanted, but I'll have to deal with it. Oh, now he's going to go grab an item. Nice. This is kind of annoying now. So you don't want to kind of go into heat mode or grab items, because he gets real annoying when he has an item here. I have had it before where he's grabbed a sofa and he just refused to drop it. Cool, second phase now. So second phase is kind of annoying. So he grabs this giant coin out of the wall here. Kiryu lets him do this, by the way. He just watches him grab this giant stone thing out. So we actually grabbed the shotgun specifically for this phase to just do a chunk of damage to him at once. Because basically we want to try and avoid this phase happening again, because if we don't deal with this fast enough, this phase will repeat again, and he'll grab another one of these giant rocks. I'm going to grab the shotgun, shoot him 3 times, put that away. I'm just going to go ham with hand hook combos, which is this hit I'm doing here. I didn't want to grab that toughness seed or whatever. And perfect kind of fight. It was kind of slow at the start, but I'll take finishing that fight like that, dude. I'll consider that real good. That was a very, very decently good combo there. The only issue with it was him grabbing the chair and going into heat phase and hitting me a little bit. Right. So now Rikiya asks, can we hang out in the city a little bit? Which is what we're going to go do. We're going to go hang out in the city a little bit. So I'm going to go over to the to a sushi restaurant with Rikiya and chill with him for a little bit. So if you've got maybe 1 or 2 donations, mod, feel free to fit them in here.
Yeah, I can remind everyone of our prices, because those are 2 really, really nice monitors by our sponsor ViewSonic. We've got a ViewSonic Elite XG 270, which is a 240 Hz monitor with a minimum donation of $25, and those are cumulative over the whole marathon. So if you've already donated like $10, it's only 15 more to get entered into this prize raffle, and you can get this wonderful monitor. Or we have the ViewSonic VX2758, which has definitely some higher specs. We therefore need a minimum donation of $35 for that. It's 144 Hz, but it is QHD, and both are 27 inches. So if you want to take a look at the descriptions of those monitors, go to prizes.esamarathon.com, and there you'll find them.
Cool. Right, so I did a couple of things there. If you don't split the bill, our man Rikiya charges you like 80,000 yen for the bill, so, you know, we don't want to do that. And then also, I went separate ways with him because he wants to tour around the city a little bit. So if you do that, you lose a bunch of time doing a bunch of side stuff with him. So what we're going to do here is we entered this weapon shop here to talk to Kamiyama to reload our guns. So we need the shotgun and we need the revolver back. And this was actually part of the route change, actually. So when we changed for the weapon that sold for more money, it meant we could actually use the Expulsion 12 early, and then reload it here because we now have enough money to do so. So we do that, and now we can go. Right, cool. So I'm going to go down here. Right, so now I have to go to Tenkaichi Street and to Serena again. Tenkaichi Street is one of my least favorite streets in this run because of you get really screwed by fight spawns here. They can spawn in some really, really nasty locations, and when there are loads of NPCs here, you can't exactly avoid them. Oh, okay, I have no idea what was there. I thought there was one there, but turns out there wasn't. I guess I got slightly lucky there. Right. So now this guy's getting approached by this man. So this is a guy that Kiryu knows from one of the previous Yakuza games, and he's basically going to explain to him about a Coliseum, or not Coliseum, the little side thing that you can do here in Kamurocho Castle. I'll be real, I've not actually fully done this bit of side content before, so I'm not entirely sure about everything that you can do within it, but I know there's a lot of stuff that there's a lot of side content in 3, and there is a lot of sub-stories and a lot of stuff that you can do. This game is pretty much packed with content. It's very, very, very worth your time to put time into any Yakuza game to try and work out what's what and how much you enjoy it, because there's something for everyone in all of these games. It's one of the reasons why they are so well loved. Right, so now that I've done that, I need to go back to Serena. Right, this street here can be annoying for fight spawns as well. There can be one literally right here. He is not there. There is one there though. I had to basically take a slightly weird route there to avoid it. Right, got to go around here. And now back in Serena. So this is the end of Chapter 6 here. So Chapter 6 is ending here. We're going to talk to Date and basically ask him, is it okay if Rikiya stays here alongside Kiryu? And of course they're like, yeah, it doesn't matter, don't worry about it. And then Rikiya just shows up. He's like, oh, word, I'm here now. Right, so with that guy. And we say, let's talk, and that ends the chapter. That's the end of Chapter 5. No, sorry, Chapter 6. Chapter 6, not Chapter 5. I'm thinking one chapter behind. Right. So now, Date tells us to go deal with Majima, because Majima will be useful to have on our side for this. So he needs to go at least talk to him. Kiryu's a bit skeptical about this, because obviously all of his encounters with Majima usually end up in them having to fight each other. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to re-grip the shotgun. I'm going to go to West Park. But there can be a fight spawn actually when you're running back down here, which can be annoying to use, but you know, we're just going to go around here. Fun fact, until the Dragon Engine games, you can't get a fight spawn or a fight encounter on this street I'm on now, the very, very bottom line, because basically there's not enough room on here for it to take place, so it's one way to de-aggro enemies is to go there and run down the street. So, now we're taking our taxi up here. I'm going to go in here. So, Majima now walks us towards the Coliseum. He walks very, very slowly, so what we're going to do is we're going to push him like we do to Date. He's slightly easier to push because we can do it while running. We don't need to worry about trying to do it while walking, which means we can get some slightly easier pushes. I hold the camera down here because I find it a bit easier to aim myself with the camera aimed down. You don't have to because there's no NPCs here until after this bit, but I find it a little bit easier to nudge him forward when I have the camera pan down. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. He does walk on a set path, he just walks kind of slowly. And he goes into this little turning to the left we're coming up on. Can I at least, you know, actually push him, please? But you know what? Those were pretty abysmal pushes, not gonna lie. I did actually have it where Kiryu spawned outside on like in the water outside the gate there, the fencing, which is pretty funny. So now Majima takes us into the Coliseum, goes, the Coliseum hasn't been used in ages, and then goes, wait a second, I want to punch you now. So we've got another fight with Majima here. So Majima is going to start off by going ham like he normally does. We're going to try and... Okay, good, I got him. And now I'm going to stun him. So I just want to get him down into his green HP bar. Is gone. Oh, he hit me into a wall, which means I... Oh, nice, I actually got him back. Right, so now I'm going to pull out the expulsion when he gets up. Shoot at him from around here. Kick him. He gets up again. Shoot at him from around here. Kick him. And he gets up again. Shoot him. Stamp on his face. Shoot him. Stamp on his face. And that is the Majima fight. Kind of a slow fight, but that's what you do. Right. So now Majima agrees to take us to the florist. The florist is back in purgatory here from his previous job helping out the police in Yakuza 2. Now he's back down here, chilling out with his with his army of homeless. And basically, he has some spies going on about what's happening with the Snake Flower triad. I couldn't remember the name. I was like, Shadow? No, that's too edgy. It's Snake Flower. And basically, we find out that they're targeting Rikiya. So, at this point, Kiryu's going to phone Rikiya and be like, hey, Rikiya, you need to, you know, not be there right now. But Rikiya being Rikiya, tries to have a fight with someone anyway. Because it's Rikiya. So we're going to have to go basically stop Rikiya from getting hurt in any way. So now we get the coveted Yakuza game Kamurocho set piece now. So the Kamurocho set piece is a staple of most Yakuza games, where we get a segment where we go around one of the cities and do a bunch of fights or a chain of fights. So what I'm going to do is, there are now NPCs here. There's not many of them that spawn, so you don't exactly need to pan down. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go and use the item box, because I no longer need half the items I have. The only 3 items I need are the 2 blackjack amulets and my double action revolver. So I'm going to use the item box, use the item box. I'm going to get rid of that, that, and that. I need none of it. So I no longer need any of that, so I only need the 3 things I have. Right, so I'm going to run across this little patch of land here before I get into the set piece. So more before I get into a long string of fights, if you have anything to say, feel free to go ahead now.
Wonderful, thank you. We have a $35 donation by Adam N. I think he wanted one of those 2 monitors. He said, started playing the Yakuza series after seeing speedruns like this, and I absolutely love them. Thanks for showing off such a cool game series and supporting such a good cause. Hayaku Ikenachika! Gotta go fast.
Nice, right. So at the start of the set piece here, I'm gonna hit these guys around a little bit just to try and get some damage on them. Nice. That sign went flying. Cool, that's the end of that one. Sub 3 on that on my second time, that's actually very good. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to strafe a tiny little bit to get around that guy a little bit faster, because I sometimes get caught on him. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to beat up one of these guys over here and grab a shoddy pistol, because I don't want to waste any of my my revolver on these guys, so I'm going to pick up their own guns and shoot them with their own guns. So I'm going to run down here, and basically a bunch of enemies will jump out of these cars, but the only guy that I need to worry about is the guy in the purple shirt. The guy in the purple shirt is basically just the main guy that I need to be dealing with while doing this. So I'm going to try and get as much damage as I can with the pistol. So something that I didn't mention before, we used to hold R1 to shoot the pistol. But now, when another runner called Froob was doing a Yakuza 4 run, some guy came into chat and told Froob, you do realise that you shoot faster if you don't hold R1, right? So we found out that it's slightly faster to not hold, it's very much faster to not hold R1. Could you not do that to me? This is kind of slow right now because it's getting bodied. Good. That was kind of slow, but whatever. But basically, by not holding R1, you actually shoot slightly faster than while locking on. So some fights get kind of annoying now because we don't lock on to do them. But it's very much worth it to not hold it. It saves a bunch of time later on in the run, and actually, in Yakuza 4 especially, it actually makes one of the it makes Daigo at the end of the game an actual consistent fight. I'm gonna grab this bike. I'm gonna smash this bike over this guy's head because you know that's what we do around these spots. That guy runs away again. There's another guy with a gun here. We're gonna take this guy's gun because we need it. So we're actually coming up on a kind of a really cool piece of speed tech actually. So normally you can only take like a couple of weapons in with. You can't take many weapons in there with these these little mini bosses that we're coming up on. But what I can do is I can lob that gun in there, pick up this gun, lob that gun in there. What that does is it brings both the guns into the fight with me. So I now have 2 guns with me. Which means I can do that. Oh god. I have a gun gun. Oh, don't tell me the gun despawned. That's kind of annoying, that is. The gun did despawn. That's really frustrating. We're meant to shoot this guy with both the guns and then... Oh god. Throw the guy into a corner. That was kind of a feels bad, man. But yeah, so I'm going to hit this guy into a corner now and just do a bunch of damage to him. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp on that guy's face, and that was kind of a bit sad there. You can finish that fight in about 20 seconds faster if you do get a gun in there. I don't know what happened to it. It does sometimes just despawn. So I just kind of got a bit unlucky there. So now we've got another chase section. I'm gonna hit this guy, hit this guy, hit this guy, hit this guy, and that ends it. That was very fast. So now this guy tells us more about what's happening. He tells us where to go. So now here's the second half of the set piece. So I'm gonna run around these guys because these guys can decide to punch you. There's more guys around here that might punch you. That guy tried to do it, but I dodged. This guy will definitely try to do it. He always does. There's a guy over a gun, but we don't need him. I was kind of disappointed about the gun despawning. It's kind of annoying. But yep, we're gonna go past this guy. Oh god. Okay, thanks for the bike getting in my way. Normally you just run past this guy and do the gate, but I got smacked in the face by a bike. That was very, very nice. Oh, sword guys love to destroy you here. This guy will throw a knife at me. I'm gonna dodge it. That was a really weird set of combos. Right, there's a guy with a gun here. I'm gonna take this guy's gun. And everyone got scared of me. Apart from that guy. That guy don't care. Dodge that guy just in case. Dodge those guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right. I shot that first guy because if you combo him, sometimes the gun does despawn. So I was trying to make sure the gun doesn't actually despawn. I'm gonna throw that gun into. Oh no, I'm actually in the fight now. Hopefully the gun's still there. Oh, really? I messed up on both of this part? I messed up both guns. Very nice. Oh, wait, no, it's here. Nice. I'm gonna... Oh, okay, thanks for that. This guy's kind of annoying to deal with. Okay, please don't do this to me. What I'm trying to do with this guy is I'm trying to get him into a corner. Nice, I got him. So guys with weapons usually have unblockable attacks, which is kind of annoying. Nice, I got him again. And I can just... There you go. That was kind of very slow, but whatever. And that's the end of the Kamurocho set piece for this game. So, now we get into a fight with Lau Ka Long. Lau Ka Long is kind of an annoying boss fight. He has an auto counter that goes off every 4 hits. So basically we're trying to do that to basically force him to counter us, and then we just kick over his counter. Then get up again. My voice cracked hella hard there. Nice. I had to do that there. So now he's going to get up again. I'm going to pull out my gun. And shoot this man a bit more. So this is why I reloaded the double action revolver. And that is the fight with Lau Ka Long. So I actually skipped a couple of cutscenes and a couple of phases there. Oh, nope, I actually want to save here. We're creating a new save here. Alright, cool. So we're coming up on a lovely piece of the run here. Yes, I know, save completed. So this is chapter 9. So chapter 9 is known as the plot, but we got something else we got to do very important first. So, I need to go and use the 2 blackjack amulets that I accumulated. So the 2 blackjack amulets that I got, I'm going to use in this section here to basically get myself 10 free blackjacks. And hopefully after 10 free blackjacks, I get enough money to buy what I need to buy. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to talk to Rikiya because we need to take him back up to a taxi. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go into my weapons because I need to throw this out. Oh yeah, when you're with characters, they do shout stuff at you. Rikiya's one is he shouts anarchy to you. We do love our boy Rikiya, because Rikiya is a real good character. Okay, sometimes the controls like to whack out on you there when the camera switches. Right, so now we're going to go play some blackjack. So I'm going to go buy 100,000 yen worth of chips. And we're going to go play some high-rate blackjack. Cool. So here comes the use of the 2 blackjack amulets. So I'm going to use blackjack amulet here. And this gives me 5 free blackjack. So I'm going to count them out. So we've got 1, 2, we've got 3, we got 4, and we got 5. So hopefully I get what I need to... Good. Right, now I need to use my second one now. So here's 1. Here's 2. Here's 3. Here's 4. Oh, okay, I need one thing to happen now. Oh, on the last one! Right, so what I needed to happen there is for that to happen. Okay, I need to quit. Okay, thank you. Let me out of blackjack. Right, so what I had to happen there was I had to get what was called a high stakes there. So what high stakes does is it basically lets you double your bet, but then get more coins back whenever you win the hand. So I didn't want to mention it before, but that there has kind of a 33% chance to straight up make a run uncompletable, which is the main reason why I saved. So I saved there, so in case I needed a reset, I could reset. So nice. I didn't even need to save. I don't know what I was doing, dude. What was I thinking, dude? Just first try the RNG segment. Oh, that's all you got to do, right? Right, cool. So I lost a bunch of time there because I saved, but whatever. It was better off to save than to not save. So now we're going to show Rikiya off. And now we get a call from Kamiyama. I haven't mentioned him yet, but this is Tamiyama, that's his name. So this man's a politician who's also in fight for the land that Kiryu's orphanage is on. But he needs it for a very different reason. He's a politician who basically wants to build a army base on it. The Yakuza want it because they want to build a casino on it. So that's why they're fighting over the land in this game. Alright, cool. Oh, I did drop my down input. Nice. I need to go to South Nakamichi Street. They dropped my down input, which is real nice. But whatever, it doesn't matter too much. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to the pawn shop and I'm going to sell those platinum plates that I brought. So I opened up the weapon shop earlier because you can't do it in the segment that I'm about to do. So that's why I did it in chapter... That's what I did in chapter 5. I'm going to sell these. Look at that, I have 3 million yen now. It's a lot of money. So, I need to go back up to Serena, where Date is waiting for us, because we basically invited Date to come see the politician with us. And then once I've got Date, I'm going to be running around Kamurocho to go to the weapon shop to pick up some weapons. So, while I'm running over there, Mod, if you have anything you need to say, please feel free to do so.
Wonderful, thank you very much. I do want to remind everyone of the coming bid war for Saw the game, where you can choose the ending, whether we find the truth or accept freedom. Finding the truth is still in the lead with $65 compared to freedom with $5 on second place, but there's still enough time to snipe that if you do want to switch that ending. This will be my final hosting shift and my final read of this marathon. I'll still stick around, but taking over for me now is the wonderful Pi, so have fun with him as well.
Right. I just ran into a fight spawn because I was trying to get around him, but I guess I can't, but whatever. Guess we'll just have to deal with this. Oh, thanks, Date, for taking care of them. That's kind of silly of me. But whatever, I should have gone a different route, but I had already committed to this route, so... That was my B, but I'll just take that fight there. So, while I'm running around here, I need to run up to the gun shop around here, and we're going to buy some lovely weapons, so... You would have thought that we like to punch people in Yakuza games. How about we, we're not going to do that for the rest of them. This is now basically a fully weapon run. We're going to come in here. So we can't actually open the shop when we have Date following us. But he's fine with us coming in here and purchasing 13 pistols. We're just going to use these for the rest of the run. So that's what we're going to do with our pistols. So now, you might have noticed when it said Chapter 9 is called The Plot. So this is basically the plot dump chapter. Like, it's very heavy in cutscenes and not much else. So luckily, most of them are CG ones, so we can skip them. But basically, Kiryu and Date get the lowdown on what the hell's happening. So even though the politician here is gunning for the land that Kiryu's on, he actually doesn't want it to do what he says he wants to do, but he doesn't want to build the military base on it at all. He actually wants to get it to basically flush out a secret group of CIA operatives to basically expose them for their crimes. So that's what we're doing. So that guy I shotgunned about a good like 30 minutes ago. Good. Oh god, more than that. Yeah, good like 50 minutes ago. His name is Richardson, and yeah, he is the leader of the secret operative group. So basically, we just are being told, can you help me stop these guys? So these guys come now. I'm going to shoot these guys. And welcome to... And that's what the rest of the run's going to look like. That's the end of the chapter. So, we buy all those guns and we're just going to blast everyone. So now we're going to get a few cutscenes here that show what happened, and then we're going to go back to Okinawa now. Because basically we find out that the Kazuma guy that we're looking for is in Okinawa. So we're gonna go around here down to Okinawa and then see what's happening. Avoid these guys. So another thing that we needed money for is we actually need 30k here to get back to Okinawa. If you don't have that, you need to go do side content and stuff to fight and sell stuff to get it, which isn't too bad. But you know, we just have enough money to do it. So we're just going to go back to Okinawa. Oh, we're back in Okinawa. So chapter 10 here. Chapter 10 is back in Okinawa doing stuff with the kids at the orphanage. So we're going to go back to the orphanage and just give them the lowdown on what's happening. And basically explain to them that the CIA is involved, and basically we're going to deal with it. Don't worry about it, guys. We'll deal with it. So, go around here. Right. Kids get all excited that their Uncle Kaz is back. And then Tamiyama phones us and tells us that we don't need to do anything until the evening. Because that's when, tomorrow evening, because that's when, because then that's when Kazuma's next target will be in the club that we need to go to. So what's going to happen now is Taichi and Mitsuo are going to go have their play wrestling match like they normally do. But Haruka wants us to basically go tell Taichi that it's his turn to go and buy the shopping at the supermarket. So she asks Kiryu to go tell him because he's mucking around and needs to go and do it. So Kiryu's going to go and ask him to do it and basically tell him that once he's done playing around with Mitsuo that he needs to go and actually do his chores. Cool, that's that conversation done. So when Kiryu comes back up here, it's going to play a nice cutscene of them doing their wrestling match, but we're going to skip that. And hopefully he does it. Oh, he didn't do it. Mitsuo here can actually be floating in the air and just float into the place where he starts running up the road to the to Kiryu. It didn't happen there, but it can happen. It's pretty funny when it does happen. So Taichi here passes out while they were doing wrestling, and they call in a doctor, and the doctor says it might have something to do with asthma or some other breathing disorder that's really hindering him, and he basically gets all upset because he wants to be a wrestler when he grows up, and basically this would stop him from pursuing that goal. So what me and Rikiya are going to do is, Kiryu and Rikiya are like, you know what, we should have a wrestling match instead, and that would maybe help cheer Taichi up a little bit to watch those two go at it a little bit. So Rikiya tells us we need to go into town for a little bit to just wait for him to set up the arena for us. So we're going to make a nice quick trip into town. Do a little bit of walking around maybe. By that I mean I'm going to hold forward here. Oh look, it's done. I'm going to go back now. Kiryu spends more time riding the train than he does actually in any of these places, I swear to God. Right, so now we have a really rather annoying segment of the run, which is the wrestling Rikiya part. So Rikiya here, you need to do specific things, like in a tutorial, to get through this. But Rikiya kind of is annoying and doesn't let you do it sometimes. So with Dragon Mask versus Ricky Mask, what you do is need to grab him and throw him. I have to wait for him to get up and do something because I can't throw him again until he's done something. Like that, which is kind of annoying, but whatever. Now I can throw him again. Cool, throw him again. And now I need to drop kick him. Oh, okay. We both missed each other. Oh, now he's going to block me, isn't he? Oh, Rikiya, please. Oh, Rikiya, don't do this to me. Okay, I got him once there. Now he's again up here. Hit him twice. So now I need to. So now he needs to knock me down, but he can't do. You can't do that move. That move doesn't count as knocking you down for some reason. Now I need him to... Okay, Rikiya, please. Yeah, punch me. Punch me! No, that's the wrong punch. Punch me and kick me. Kick me to the ground, please, Rikiya. That doesn't count either. That one doesn't count, Rikiya, please. Come on, buddy. Okay. Okay, that one counts. Now I can drop kick him again. Nice. Now I need to stand in a particular place. Okay. Oh, okay. I need to do a heat move on him now, but it can be kind of annoying to get the heat move to come out. Nice, got it. That lost a bunch of time because he wouldn't have hit me. Oh, that was very silly. So what we find out in that cutscene that Taichi's perfectly fine. So the actual problem with Taichi is he has an allergic reaction to some wheat. To some buckwheat. So he's actually perfectly fine. He's just had a bit of an allergic reaction and needed to get some rest, and he was all good. So Haruka here is now running out of the orphanage because she has something to do. And Kiryu goes, maybe I should follow her. Wait, is that wrong? No, wait, that sounds plausible for me to see what my own daughter's doing. So now I'm going to run around here. So she's in a couple of places in Okinawa here. So I'm going to go take a taxi to one of them, and then I need to walk up to I can't remember the name of the street, but back to a place I went to in chapter 4 to grab a locker key. But she's over here. Oh, there's a fight spawn behind me. Oh god. But she's over here looking at this sign, and then I need to walk around Okinawa a bit. So if you guys have anything to say on the donation side, please feel free to go ahead.
Absolutely, thank you, Rebel. I think it's safe to say we're all enjoying the sun we're getting from this Yakuza beat. If you're just joining into this stream, I would like to remind you that we are raising money for the Alzheimerfonden, the Swedish national fundraising organization focusing on Alzheimer's disease and other related diseases. So, we do have a few incentives, plenty of incentives really to choose from if you decide to donate towards this great cause. For example, the next run, we have the Saw game. You can decide what ending to pick. So let's get those donations come in, put your money where you want it to be, and let's carry on raising money for this cause.
Alright, cool. So those three guys that just ran past who are walking around the city, they're actually a sub-story, which means we don't want to get involved or near them. There was also a fight spawn there, which I had to dodge there. But yeah, so Haruka's now around here. So what Haruka's actually doing is she's heard that she believes that the orphanage is running low on funds. So she takes a part-time job doing stuff for the guy in the pink and the blue Hawaiian shirt. And Kiryu's very suspicious of them because they look very shady. Sorry. Because they look very shady, and he doesn't really like the fact that his daughter's actually doing part-time work at her age. So he's basically looking into it to see if they're actually who they say they are and what she's actually doing, because she stood on street corners handing out envelopes to people, so he finds it very, very weird. That is what's going on. That sentence made sense in my head, but not when it came out my mouth. So Kiryu realizes that something's truly wrong here when he basically goes to have dinner now with the kids, and Haruka has bought some really expensive food from what they normally buy. So he goes, hang on a second here, this has to be wrong. She's getting too much money for doing for the stuff that they normally deal with. I cannot remember the name of the dish, but it's some fancy dish that really doesn't get cooked too often in their orphanage, from what I can remember or tell. And then she asks Kiryu, "Can I go back out again in the evening?" And Kiryu's like, "Hang on a second, no." And then she goes, "Anyway, thanks, controls." After that cutscene, sometimes the controls you'll hold forward and you'll go backwards. Rather lovely choice of video game stuff there. So she's actually back at that corner I went to when I ran into her the second time. I just ran into that dude completely and destroyed him. Right, so there's people around. Are there people around here? No, there's no voice bombs there. Oh god, there is. There are two, which means I have to dodge them. Nice, I got past them. Right, Haruka's on this street corner. So he watches these guys go up to her and basically tell her that she needs to do this, and then a policeman will walk up to her, and she just goes, "No, I'm not doing anything shady here." So they're gonna call their friend to basically come and get the goods from them, and Haruka's just gonna stand there and hand them over, because she doesn't actually know what she's actually doing at this point. She doesn't know what she's handing out. She's just handing out envelopes for these two guys. And this policeman comes along, and because she's a nice little girl, she just goes, "I'm not doing anything." And then he's like, "Oh, okay," and walks away. And they're like, "Oh, word." She is real good at this because she can avoid the police. And Kiryu goes, "Wait a second. That's not something that should happen." So now, these guys are going to walk up to Haruka, and should I step in? No, I'm going to wait and see. Definitely going to wait and see. Oh, another guy. So you have to do this a few times. We have to see a bunch of guys walk up. But you know what? I don't need to step in yet. That's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. I think a policeman's next. Oh no, it's another dude. Then it's a policeman. Then it's yeah. There is like a set order for this. The policeman's always like the fourth one. So that guy comes up. We don't need to step in yet. And then yeah, dude. Here's another policeman. We're not going to step in now. All right, cool. We don't need to step in yet. But now the two original guys crop up. So now, Kiryu, we must step in. So basically, if you step in any earlier than on these two people, you have to go through the entire thing again, basically. So now we have to fight these two guys. You can actually defeat both these guys in one combo, and it can be very, very nice. I'm going to walk over to the left here. I didn't mean to do that, but whatever. I just stamp on his face. you can beat those guys in one combo. It can be slightly annoying to do it because they have to basically go in the same position. So the reason why Haruka was doing all this is because she heard Mikio and Rikiya talking about their lack of money for something. She assumed it was about the orphanage, but what it was actually about was they're struggling to keep the rent up on the office that they have for their Yakuza family, the Ryudo family. And that's what they were talking about. Oh, I didn't mention, those guys were dealing in forged cards, by the way. That's what those guys were dealing in, so, you know, very, very shady stuff. So now Kiryu's like, hey, Haruka, let's go back home. And she's just like, let's go. Right, so again, I'm panning the camera down to avoid stuff. There might be a couple of fight spawns around here. I'm trying to avoid them completely. There are several nasty ones that are going to appear like by the bridge here that can just screw you if you're not paying attention. Just like me earlier in the run where I wasn't paying attention earlier and I got screwed by a fight spawn. Right, back to Morning Glory. Right, cool. So now when we go back to the orphanage now, Kiryu's going to ask Haruka to go take her bath, make sure the other kids go and take their baths, and we're going to witness a conversation between Izumi, Ayako, and then Ayako and Shiro, where they're basically asking Ayako to help him out with stuff. So while I'm going through all these cutscenes, if you have anything you need to talk about, Pi, feel free to go ahead.
Perfect. Yes, I think this might be a great opportunity to maybe talk about the prices that you would be eligible for with a minimum donation of 25 or 35. So for a minimum donation of $25 towards this charity, you can be eligible for a ViewSonic Elite XG270 monitor. This is a giveaway eligible to, again, anybody donating that amount. It is accumulative, so even if you donate $5 now, you can donate 20 at a later stage. You'll still be eligible. We also have a giveaway for a ViewSonic VX2758 monitor with a minimum donation of $35. If you want to check out these prices, I would definitely recommend it. You can never really have enough monitors. Go to prices.esamarathon.com. Thank you.
Alright, cool. So the conversations that the kids had with Ayako last night, she helped him out. She gave Izumi some money for a dog toy, which she then went and spent on sweets because she couldn't buy the dog toy she wanted. Then she helped Shiro out with his homework, but she did it wrong because she didn't fully understand it. And so she gets upset when everyone starts shouting at her and runs off. So Kiryu here decides to take it upon himself to, you know, individually call out everyone and tell them, you do realize we need to appreciate each other here. So we're just going to go through and individually call out the children for basically not appreciating Ayako enough. Because Ayako is actually I think she's the oldest of all these children. And so she basically feels like she has the most amount of pressure on her because outside of her, the only other people who are older are Haruka and Kiryu. And Kiryu is not always around and she feels that she kind of has to take care of a lot of the problems that do come up. So we gotta go find her. She's actually up by the lockers where we went in chapter 4. So we're gonna go around here. I'm gonna take a taxi there because it's slightly faster. So I'm gonna go talk to my man over here. We go to the east exit here, right around here. Don't get hit by one of the cars. Oh, nice. All right, still avoid the sub-story. You can actually get a fight spawn here, like I said, which is kind of annoying. I'm gonna run up here. Nice NPC. So Ayako's back here. So Ayako here. We have a couple of chase sections left in this game. So Ayako here is going to initiate some chase sections. So we're going to basically just try and chase her down to convince her to come back to the orphanage. So here we go. So I'm basically going to try and avoid running into people because that will obviously slow me down and running into obstacles. So I just clanked off a child. Right, so Ayako here basically can fully outrun Kiryu. It's pretty good. She is a very, very, very fast girl. You basically can't catch her. You can't hit her or do anything like that either. You literally cannot catch up to her. So she runs down here. She then goes, I don't care about the orphanage anymore. And then Kiryu's like, hang on a second, wait. And then we now have another chase section here. So now we're going to chase her again. So we're going up the top end of Okinawa now to try and chase her down. I'm basically cutting corners here to try and avoid running into the NPCs. It doesn't exactly speed things up because basically she's on a set path anyway. And takes basically a set amount of time to do it, so it doesn't really matter. Oh. The only thing that changes is if you clank off NPCs or not. So she goes over here, and this bit's hilarious. So she's all fine. Kiryu's in the back dying, dude. He's just sprinted after this girl twice. She looks like she's fine, and he's just absolutely winded. He's just not okay. And then she's like, no, I'ma still run. So she runs again anyway. So this girl has like all the stamina in the world apparently. And Kiryu is just like, damn, this girl outran me. So we gotta go around Okinawa again. So we're gonna go on a little trip around here. Trying to cut some corners to try and avoid running into NPCs. So she goes up the top, then she goes up and around past where all these cars are. So I know exactly where she's going, it's just that I basically just have to run behind her the whole time. Try not to run into the cars. Then after this chase, she finally listens to Kiryu because of his unrelenting will to, chase her down. He's still dying, he's like, oh my god, please stop. Please, just stop. So now she agrees to come back to the orphanage with Kiryu here. It's my right gun. Right, yeah. Sorry, I was having to think about what gun I had remaining bullets in. But it's my right gun, then my up gun. My left one has no bullets in it. So we're getting into and after this we get into more boss fights. So basically I'm going to be using a lot more of my guns to deal with a lot of the fights now. So after this we get told to go deal with Joji because Joji's now in the club which we need him in, which we need to go stop him in because he's basically trying to assassinate one of the guys who is also in line to try and get the deeds for the land. So we basically waited until that guy was in Okinawa, basically celebrating some stuff. And while he's in one of the clubs, Joji was like, I'll shoot him now. So we're going to go say, how about you don't do that, and I'll shoot you instead. So I'm going to run up here. There is a fight spawn there, and he's going to turn around. Nice. Oh, God, I'm going to actually go around the taxi. Go around here. Avoid that girl. And let's go in there. See if I skip this cutscene fast. Nice. So, Joji here. I'm going to 2, 3, nailing with 3 shots, then nailing with 15 shots from this gun here. Again, again, fast shooting, we're holding LT. And there we go. So, I skipped an entire phase and QTEs and his heat phase in that fight, by the way. You skip basically the entire fight by just doing that. So now, we find out that Tamashiro and Mine have been doing some bad stuff at the orphanage after this cutscene. So basically, Joji explains that Joji wasn't actually the one who shot Nakahara or Daigo, it was actually Richardson, the guy who's in line with the secret CIA operatives and basically explains that they need to stop him as much as Kiryu needs to stop him. So during this time while he's talking to them, Tamashiro and Mine show up and completely trash the orphanage. Because now that Mine has the deeds to the land now. I can't remember the context of which he gets them, but he has them now. I believe. He might do, I don't remember. Yakuza stories do confuse me sometimes, but regardless, Tamashiro and Mine have basically destroyed the orphanage, so you know, Kiryu be slightly mad because you know that is where him and all the kids he looks after live. So, you know, that don't fly around here. So we're going to go back to the orphanage. There's a couple of cutscenes I have to skip through, and then I get to go to the ball ring to deal with Tamashiro. Look how destroyed it is. It's just actually disgraceful. Like, they take a bulldozer to it. It's actually crazy. But the cutscene before it is actually very, very good. The cutscene when it happens is so good, but it's so saddening just to watch this bulldozer destroy the orphanage. But Haruka does slap Mine, which is a very, very good part of the cutscene. So now we're going to go over here. We go to the ball ring. So now we get straight into basically the boss fight section of this chapter at the ball ring. So that entire cutscene is about Takahara being captured by Tamashiro and a bunch of other stuff happening. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to do that, that. There's all my guns. Right, so now, sadly we don't get to fight the bulls. If we did, we would need more guns, but you know. We just get a we just get a nice QTE here where Kiryu's gonna overpower this bull and throw him away. And now Tamashiro appears, and we're just gonna shoot him some more because you know we don't like this man. And we hate him so much, I'm not even going to look at him on the camera. I'm going to keep shooting him. I don't even need to look at him. Doesn't deserve to be looked at. Destroyed the orphanage. And that is the end of chapter 11. So we're actually going into the finale now. This is chapter 12. Right, so we get some cutscenes here explaining that Daigo's in this hospital, and we need to basically go to the hospital and save him because he's now in danger of he's now in danger from both Richardson and Mine, because Richardson and Mine have been in working together this entire time. Oh, by the way, this guy's called Rick Langley. Half of his conversation is just him introducing himself, and then he tells us to go somewhere, and then he's never mentioned again. He has a name, but he's never brought up ever again. So we bring Haruka here because Kiryu basically, like in pure Yakuza fashion, doesn't actually believe that he's going to survive this. So he basically wants to spend the last few hours with Haruka. But sadly, because this is a speedrun, I'm going to just turn around to Haruka and be like, how about you just stay here while I go to the hospital and deal with Daigo. Right. I'm going to attempt... Over here. I believe you can still get fight spawns on this trip to and back from Serena, which can be kind of annoying. In the last chapter, how about we lose 30 seconds on the spot? But we're gonna just run around here. We're gonna go to the taxi down here, and the taxi down here takes us to the hospital. We've got a nice cutscene here where Joji Kazuma phones us. Right, so I'm going to try and do the taps gun math rule. I'm trying to attempt it, see if I can do it. If not, I'll just cry and just lose a little bit of time. But I'll try and do it. I said to tap that I try and do it, so I'll try and do it. So I need to. Oh god, this one. So I need to go 1, 2. That one there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Stamp on that guy. So I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna put on one of these other guns. That's now down to 10. Right. So that guy runs away from us. Now I have to go defeat the captain. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go skip that, pull out my gun, and we're going to run around here. So what we're going to do is we're going to run up here. We're going to ignore all the guys in classic Yakuza 3 fashion. We're just going to avoid all the guys. Oh, did I reload one of my guns? I did. Nice. Making sure I did that because I needed to do that. Alright, go around here. And we're going to shoot this man over here. Alright, so we're meant to run around the entirety of this floor here. Get to that guy, but no. How about I just shoot him from over here? How about I just shoot him from across the map? I need this guy's gun. Avoid that. Run around that guy. Nice cutscene here showing two guys with Uzis there. But I'm actually just going to shoot the guy at the back and pray to God that the guy that runs past me doesn't actually shoot me. Which he can decide to do, which can be annoying. Right. So this guy here, I'm actually going to combo him away from the bed. Because that can happen, which is kind of annoying. Need that one. This one. Right, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's a nice QTE here where I have to mash this guy away. A quick drink. So after this little bit on the elevator here. Up gun, then my right gun for what I need. So, Kira's going to walk out here and we're going to go to Daigo's room. We found out Daigo's room's on the 25th floor, which is where Kira was heading this entire time. Now we're just going to go and say hi to Daigo. We'll run around here. Say hi to Daigo. And then we get a nice fight with Richardson. I'll go in here. Just shoot this man. I'm just tired of this guy. Just get away from me. Absolutely tired of this man. Now we're gonna go out of this room. But you know, in classic Yakuza fashion, I just shot this man, but you know, he's fine, don't worry about it. He'll get back up again. He's all good. He's all good. His hand's about to move, you ready? Oh no, he moved. So I have one gun left which has 10 bullets in it. This gets me through this next group of people. Right. And I need to put on my last 3 guns. Do that. Do that. So I pick up these shoddy pistols. I actually require these to do this. So I'm going to shoot him with both the shoddy pistols and then I'm going to throw them at him. And the throwing actually does damage to him as well. I'm going to shoot this man with all these. Throw them at him. He's going to run at me, so I'm going to throw that at him. And that is how we deal with some Richardson. By the way, this man isn't dead either. Mans appears in the cutscene after the boss. That I'm coming up to. So these guys are going to jump into the. I'm going to have some more police guys jump into the lift with me. So I'm going to shoot exactly 8 bullets, and then the rest of my remaining 3 in that other gun. Then I will have exactly the right amount of bullets for the final boss. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, and pull this out 1. Okay. I was 1 bullet short from what I needed. So, we're now coming up on the final boss. So now we get a nice cutscene. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. And time is now. That is time. So, that's how we deal with some Mine. And that is how we deal with some Yakuza 3. So, hope you guys enjoyed that run. Sorry I came so far under estimate. When I submitted this, I had a much worse time, and also new route changes completely destroyed this run a few days ago. So, just a few shout-outs within the Yakuza community. We have Froob, who obviously ran Judgment yesterday and got world record, so GG's to Froob. He's one of the main Yakuza runners that does a lot of stuff. Tapioca, who I shouted out earlier, does a lot of stuff with Yakuza 3, 4, and 5 and some of the other games. So yeah, if you want to learn doing some of the Yakuza games, feel free to go to any of them on Speedrun.com. Most of them have notes on now, or at least some usable guides on there. And make sure to join the Discord. We have got a Yakuza speedrunning Discord, and people in there will be more than happy to help you out. But other than that, thanks ESA for letting me run this. This is actually, I really enjoy running the Yakuza games, and they're really fun to show off to people. So thank you guys for that, and I will hopefully submit more games in the future. So feel free to finish off with what you need to do, Pi, and then.
Absolutely, Rebel Dragon. What an incredible showcase! 21 minutes under estimate, huh? a lot of improvement in these times. Very well done.
Yeah. A lot of improvement.
No, I think we've all massively enjoyed this amazing showcase. Thank you so much for running this, and thank you everybody for all the donations that are coming in. There was just one donation that came in there as you were ending the run, $35 from Anonymous. Just wanted to say thank you to that anonymous donator. No comment. So. We have now, coming next after Yakuza 3, Saw, the game. So, don't miss it. We're gonna have a quick intermission. Thank you again, Rebel Dragon, and we will see you after this short break.